Hello, my name is Thomas Bertels. I am the founder of PurposeWorks Consulting and the host of the Work Matters podcast. In season 2, we talk to thought leaders about the changing nature of work and the implications for organizations. We also looked at the causes of loneliness at work, why change management is oftentimes ineffective, and how the forces of digitization are driving a dramatic rethink of processes, capabilities, and mindset. I want to thank all of my guests for sharing their insights and experiences with us. I enjoyed every single conversation, and I hope you did too.
We frame people as things that companies own, where ownership is actually one of the definitions of ownership is in one's control. In fact, the word employee literally means one who is used. We need to change that framing. Instead of owning the workforce like that, we need to do what you do with customers, which is you win them.
I much prefer to look at employees as investors, and they've decided to invest their skills and their knowledge in this organization. And the reason they're leaving is because you have not given them a return on their investment. I came in here to build something, to create something, to do something, and you haven't let me do that. And therefore, I'm leaving. I think that's very simply why people are leaving.
For us to say, shouldn't we be tapping into the minds and the capabilities of people, the competencies, their vision, their creativity? Shouldn't we be doing more of that, given that we're so dependent upon their commitment, so dependent upon their ability to help us solve problems or innovate? Wouldn't that be a good way for us to move forward as an organization?
So I think it's very important to invest in highly competent people, but then to do a variety of different things to keep them and to help them find their own path. So in effect, the company finds its path, its most optimal path, at the same time as many of the people who work within it also find their own optimal path, where they are able to, learn and grow and do some of the things that they had intended to do as part of their professional growth journey.
Do we ever ask, do you feel like your work is meaningful? Not at the end of the year in the employee survey, but is there a dialogue? Does it feel okay? Does it feel psychologically safe to say, I'm not sure that I'm doing the most meaningful work here? Maybe it just needs explaining or it needs changing. But if it doesn't, then maybe I'm not going to get the best out of that team or the people.
People with good intentions will come up against an issue and they're not empowered to really fix the problem at its root cause. So they will build workarounds. And these seem to proliferate over time to the point where nobody understands really why they started doing it that way. It's just how things get done. And the next thing you know, you have these convoluted processes that take all of the joy out of people's jobs. Oftentimes at the root of that is a lack of authority to address the issue at that user level, if you will. And those are things that you can address quickly. New systems, those things take time.
For companies to survive, they have to be able to change with the trends. And in order to be able to change with the trends, you need an infrastructure to do that. Companies 40 years ago were not thinking about that. So they did not build the infrastructure to do that.
So what we've got to do before we get the change managers involved is we've got to actually change people's relationship with change first. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've been coaxing and dragging people through projects to get them from A to B, and we think that that constitutes changing them. It doesn't change them at all. It changes what they do. It changes our organization.
Well, if we could somehow create a more meaningful environment for the best talent so that they think they're getting compensated fairly, but more importantly, they have a direct line of sight between what they're doing and saving the planet, solving diseases, whatever the subject is. If we could just do that kind of realignment so that people recognize the importance of how they're spending a very large chunk of their lives, I think that would be transformational.
I still think the same things are going to be important. People are going to want to see the outcomes of their effort. They're going to want to feel like they're rewarded. They want to feel like they've worked for an organization that has a purpose, regardless of the type of work it is at the end of the day.
You can find all the episodes of Work Matters on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. We will take a break for a few weeks, but are already busy recording new episodes for season 3. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Until then, this is Thomas Bertels signing off.